Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else.
Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay-Z your father?
I really do.
Chances are, just out of nowhere, random universal selection. This boy who's not related to you has your nose, has your mouth, has your brow line, has your hairline. Just like all of this, just by act. You've been ducking this boy's DNA for all its life. Take the test.
Jay-Z recently received a legal bombshell that might blow everything apart, which is why 50 Cent is booming right now. Rymir Carter's paternity lawsuit is proceeding. According to a recent court ruling, there will be no more hiding and no more delays.
The big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with
So
this.
now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, their heartburn, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M.
And you know what? Jay-Z has until the 18th of July to answer, failing which the situation might worsen. This is when it becomes overtly dramatic, though. According to rumors, 50 Cent is paying Rymir's legal bills out of pocket. Indeed, he is apparently funding the entire lawsuit himself. Worse, he is putting Rymir front and center in his next documentary, which is already anticipated to reveal Diddy and Jay-Z's wrongdoing. This is about reputations, power, and legacy. It is not simply about the law.
She met Jay-Z and had intercourse with him. How old was she?
I would say I think she was about 16, 17, or 16, just turning 16 or 17. I know it was one of them.
And Jay-Z was what age?
I wouldn't happen to know. I think he was in his 20s?
I read 22.
Oh, yeah.
I think I read 22. But he was in...
Yes, I wouldn't happen to know his age, but 22, I'm pretty sure if they put that out there, then...
It is becoming a full-fledged conflict. Let us now discuss the actual issues at hand. This is hardly a brand new controversy. Rymir has been claiming for years that he is Jay-Z's real son, and according to his mother, she was just 16 when she had a connection with Jay in 1992. This makes it more than simply gossip from the top.
I try not to get frustrated, basically. I really try not to think about it, I go on with my life because, anything could happen, but, I still gotta live for myself at the end of the day. I still gotta work and bring in income for me. I can't sit around, I gotta get up off my feet and do something. I can't wait on the world. Like, I can't say, I can't wait on anybody to want to respond when they want to. It is important that I know who my biological father is, just because, my mom's health, I don't know if it's coming from our family or it's coming from the other side. And that would be something I really would want to find out because, in the future, you don't know what could happen. And a lot of people are so quick to judge because they see somebody coming out and try to find out if the person, trying to find out things, they so negative to push you down.
The game is over if even a small portion of this is accurate. This is the most outrageous twist. According to sources, Beyoncé has been making every effort behind the scenes to put an end to this narrative. This lawsuit moved from being discussed in whispers to a full-fledged flurry of activity when 50 Cent poked the beehive, and a judge eventually said, "Let us run it." There is a lot of talk on the streets about how this whole situation may tear Jay-Z's world apart. His reputation is at stake, his marriage is in jeopardy, and his billion-dollar enterprise is trembling. But let us go back in time. Why has this case been dragging on for more than 10 years with little attention up to this point? And who is Rymir Carter in reality? His true name is Rymir Satterthwaite, not Carter as several people thought. He is not merely pursuing influence, either. Since he was 19, this man has been searching for the truth. He has spent more than half of his life attempting to establish that Jay-Z is his biological father. Wanda, Rymir's mother, says she first met Jay-Z when she was still a minor in the early 1990s. She became pregnant, and when she attempted to contact him, crickets. Silence. No assistance. No answers. Ree has matured and is no longer playing nice. He wants the truth and is coming with a vengeance. This is where things become even messier, though. According to Lily Cole, Ryer's godmother, Jay-Z's staff first made an effort to make things amicable. Because of Rymir's musical abilities, they even considered placing him on Rock Nation. However, everything changed at some point. The tone abruptly shifted when new attorneys took over. The atmosphere became icy. Without a doubt, something happened behind the scenes. Why, therefore, did Jay's group abruptly change course? Let's face it, the fear most likely started when they realized how far this might go legally. We are not only discussing a small scandal. This is more than age. If Rymir's narrative is to be believed, it has to do with taking a minor over state boundaries. In the past, Jay-Z is accused of transporting a 16-year-old from Philadelphia to Brooklyn. Not only is that messy, but it may even be illegal. It makes sense why his attorneys have been pursuing this lawsuit for more than a decade. They've been making every effort to hide it, delay it, and shut it down. Because his entire kingdom might collapse if this goes south. Depending on how far this goes, we might be talking about criminal investigations, lawsuits, and public outrage. Let's dissect it once more. Our 32-year-old man has been searching for answers since he was a teenager. Before she died, his mother, who regrettably passed away, left a signed statement outlining all that supposedly transpired. Finally, a judge is tired of the legal wrangling and is pursuing this matter. This time, it will not go away. Remember that 50 Cent is watching all of this from the front row. In addition to providing Rymir with financial support, he is also setting up the Diddy and Jay-Z expose.
The Beyoncé thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp, and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay, about regarding saying Rymir needs to go away, little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there. But people were saying that she's a big part of the problem for him. And some of the things that she was doing, a woman would not.
This is no longer only a legal matter. Jay's timing could not be worse in this hip-hop power shakeup. People are reconsidering their preconceived notions about the top stars in the business, especially Diddy, who is already facing criticism. Subtle rumors are now circulating that Jay-Z may be directly linked to some of the evidence used against Diddy. The game is changing. Those who have been silenced for years are finally being heard. Jay-Z may have believed that this would never come up again, but 2025 arrived with a bang, and nothing is being kept under wraps any longer. Now, let's go back to the beginning. In 1992, Jay-Z was still working hard, only starting to establish himself as a rap artist. Rymir's mother, Wanda, claims to have met him at that point. She says that Jay picked her up in Philadelphia and drove her directly to his aunt's Brooklyn residence. That, in and of itself, begs the question, what is the point of transporting a teenage girl between states? It is more than simply dodgy. It is almost against the law. She claims that he returned for one more visit 2 weeks later and then disappeared. No communication, no calls, nothing. He absolutely abandoned her. This is when the situation becomes even more dire. Wanda's close friend, Lily Cole, says the tale is far more complex than most people realize. Jay-Z was still going by his street moniker Rock at the time, as was the location of the claimed incident. Not just any quiet block, though. It was a well-known drug-dealing hotbed. Indeed, Cole claims that Jay was also working hard outside. Wanda did what many frightened young women do when they discover they are pregnant with no way to contact the father. She listed Robert Graves, her ex-boyfriend, on the birth certificate. However, that deception was short-lived. In 2011, Robert had a DNA test, and the findings were unmistakable. The father was not him. The courts removed his name. Additionally, Rymir determined it was time to stop wondering and start fighting because Wanda only acknowledged being with Robert and Jay. In 2010, he officially brought a paternity case. However, things became tricky right away. The matter continued bouncing around. The documentation was a complete disaster, and Jay-Z's legal team had no intention of cooperating. This was more than a normal family dispute. It was the start of an arduous battle against one of the most influential names in music. Rymir claims that Jay-Z's legal team has been acting dishonestly from the beginning, even paying off judges and attorneys to hide the facts. The way this matter has been handled makes you wonder if he is telling the truth. This lawsuit has been dismissed, refiled, moved from court to court, and postponed so many times that it feels like a never-ending cycle. The goalposts shift each time Rymir gets close to a resolution. At one point, Jay-Z's attorneys even argued that since he did not own any real estate in New Jersey, he could not be made to undergo a DNA test there. Seriously, that was their defense. But you know what? Rymir brought receipts. He uncovered records showing that Jay-Z did in fact own property in New Jersey at the time, completely disproving that claim. This is where things start to get suspicious. You would expect that, after this revelation, the court would proceed with a DNA test.
Wrong.
Instead, the legal teams kept playing defense. The case was inexplicably misdirected again, thrown around like a hot potato. And let's be clear, Rymir is not some online troll looking for clout. He's been fighting this battle for over a decade, dropping evidence, spending his own money, and refusing to be silenced. In an effort to obtain justice, he even took the matter all the way to the Supreme Court. But once again, he hit a brick wall.
Why?
According to those close to the case, Jay-Z's team has done everything in their power to postpone, reject, and avert, contesting jurisdictions, missing deadlines on purpose, and pulling every legal maneuver possible. Even legal experts are beginning to wonder, if Jay-Z has nothing to hide, why not just take the DNA test and clear his name? Rymir has made it plain. If he's not my father, show me. Yet Jay-Z remains completely silent. No public denial, no openness. Meanwhile, whispers are growing that this isn't just about paternity. Rymir's team believes Jay-Z is avoiding the test because it could lead to litigation, back child support, and decades of public scrutiny. If the test validates Rymir's claims, this becomes a legal and financial storm. We are talking millions in retroactive support, damages for lost opportunities, and the shattering of Jay-Z's carefully cultivated image as a loving family man. Furthermore, Rymir's legal team is pushing for access to sealed records from the first investigation. There may be documents revealing the lengths Jay-Z's camp went to in keeping this quiet. The pressure is mounting, especially with 50 Cent stoking the flames and dragging the whole thing into the spotlight. This is no longer a private matter. It's a spectacle. Fans are watching Jay-Z's every move, ready to pounce if he slips. The internet is locked in, analyzing every court filing and public appearance tied to this case. Rymir is not backing down. Jay-Z's silence is beginning to feel like an answer in itself. After all, wouldn't one DNA test be enough to silence someone claiming to be your child for over 10 years? Just one? But Jay-Z hasn't taken it, and that silence speaks volumes. The situation is spiraling. Beyoncé's name is now being pulled into the controversy. Sources say she's been working to protect her brand from the fallout, even pressuring Jay to resolve it privately before it hits her life in full force. And honestly, can you blame her? Control, precision, and image are the cornerstones of her empire. And right now, chaos reigns.
Targeted by the law.
The dominion of Diddy is trembling. Others are being investigated. And Jay-Z is allegedly concealing a paternity scandal that dates back decades. The extent of this brotherhood is now being questioned by the general public. Who is being protected, and at what expense? This is no longer simply about Rymir. The pattern here is one of erasure, manipulation, and silence. And what about Rymir? The erasure of him is over. He is forcing one of the most well-known figures in hip-hop to confront the one thing he has shunned for years. It is now clear that 50 Cent is no longer just poking fun at Jay-Z. He is funding what could become the largest paternity controversy in hip-hop history. With a court finally applying pressure to this case, time is running out. Rymir Carter is refusing to back down. No retreat. No hush agreements. No PR spin. And as the July 18th deadline approaches, Jay-Z has nothing left to hide. The world wants answers. Will he finally take the DNA test, or will he pull yet another legal maneuver to avoid the truth? One thing is certain, 50 Cent is not slowing down. He will ride this wave all the way to the shore, making sure every twist is exposed to the public. This is not just about spilling secrets